Welcome to the deep dive. It wasn't that long ago that artificial intelligence felt like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Oh, absolutely. Sentient robots, self-aware computers.
Yeah, stuff we saw on the big screen. But fast forward to today, and suddenly AI isn't just on our screens, it's intricately woven into our daily lives.
It really
Our
is.
devices understand our spoken words, translate languages in real time, and AI-powered visual recognition helps spot potential issues in medical images or guide self-driving cars.
And even the news you read might have been touched by automated journalism, turning raw data into, well, pretty coherent stories, almost like a human wrote them.
It's truly remarkable how quickly AI has evolved
Yeah.
from a niche academic thing.
Right, into a foundational general-purpose technology. It's behaving a bit like electricity did, a century ago.
Permeating everything.
Yeah, every industry transforming our economy and subtly reshaping science, society, and culture. This isn't just another tech trend. It feels like a really fundamental shift.
That's a powerful analogy, electricity. But with this incredible power and, well, the speed of adoption, the conversation around AI has become quite a mix.
Definitely a mix.
You see careful, data-driven analysis right alongside, breathless hype, wild speculation, and yeah, fair bit of fear-mongering.
You hear it all. Concerns about millions of jobs disappearing,
Issues of algorithmic bias, privacy intrusions, autonomous weapons.
and even those big existential threats to humanity.
And it's not just the deep experts weighing in, is it? Prominent public figures, sometimes without maybe a deep technical understanding of AI, have added to some pretty extreme rhetoric. Remember Elon Musk?
Oh yeah, famously calling AI research summoning the demon.
And more dangerous than nuclear weapons, it gets pretty heated.
So how do we navigate all that noise? Our mission here at The Deep Dive, brought to you by AI Coach by Anil Nathu, is to do exactly that for you.
Right.
We're offering a shortcut, really, to becoming truly well-informed by extracting the most important insights and surprising facts directly from the very minds who are building this future.
Exactly. This deep dive is custom tailored for you, our curious listener. We want to give you a clear, engaging, and thorough understanding of the most pressing questions facing AI today.
And our source material for this, it's a collection of really in-depth conversations with over 24 of the most important minds shaping contemporary AI research, the architects of machine intelligence themselves.
So in these conversations, we'll explore critical questions from these leading voices. What are the most promising AI approaches?
What's the feasibility and timeline for true thinking machines, or AGI, artificial general intelligence? That's the big one for many.
Definitely. And what are the genuine risks and threats? Things like control problems, the need for regulation, economic disruption, or maybe an AI arms race.
And, crucially, what's the role of ethics in all of this? We're going to dive into varied and often sharply conflicting insights and predictions, giving you a solid grasp on the massive potential and the disruption AI brings.
Okay, so get ready to journey through the minds of these AI pioneers. We're going to explore their backgrounds, their groundbreaking contributions, and their sometimes wildly different perspectives on AI's future. We've distilled 22 crucial conversations, summarizing their insights in a structured way. Let's start with a real foundational thinker.
Our first architect is Yoshua Bengio.
Ah, Bengio.
He's a professor of computer science and operations research at the University of Montreal and widely recognized as a pioneer of deep learning.
Right, played a pivotal role in advancing neural network research, especially in unsupervised learning, you said.
Exactly. That's where neural networks learn patterns from data without needing explicit human-provided labels or answers. It's a big deal.
And what sets him apart is his commitment to academia.
Yeah, his unwavering commitment. He's chosen to remain entirely in the academic world, valuing the freedom to pursue research for the common good and work closely with students. He actually believes this enhances his research efficiency.
That academic focus really seems to inform his views on the limitations and future of current AI. He's quite direct, isn't he?
Very direct. He stresses that today's AI, and even what we can reasonably foresee, simply does not and will not have a moral compass or an understanding of right and wrong.
That's a strong statement.
It is. He points out that current machine learning, heavily reliant on supervised learning, needs humans to feed it hundreds of millions of correct answers.
Which fundamentally limits its ability to imagine completely new experiences in the way humans can.
Precisely. While he sees deep learning as incredibly powerful and helpful for understanding the human brain, he's very clear. It's not enough to get us to AGI.
Okay. So what's next then? Where does he see the new frontiers in learning?
He identifies virtual worlds where AI agents learn about their environment as a key area. Lots of work ongoing in places like Nile, DeepMind, OpenAI, Berkeley, Facebook, Google Brain.
So learning by doing essentially in simulated worlds.
Right. And another crucial step, in his view, is grounded language learning. This is where computers move beyond just processing text to truly understanding meaning by linking words to real-world objects or images.
Enabling them to act based on that understanding, not just pattern matching.
Exact.
And when it comes to the economic and societal impact of AI, Bengio doesn't shy away from the tough stuff.
No, he doesn't. He agrees that AI could spark a new industrial revolution and lead to a lot of job losses, explicitly stating that this isn't overhyped.
Wow.
He anticipates social factors will slow the pace of change, but still sees immense social and economic benefit from the scientific advancements already made.
And this is where he challenges traditional thinking, right? With the idea of a basic income.
Yes, he's open to it as a potential solution, advocating for a scientific view on societal well-being that moves beyond maybe traditional moral views about work.
Interesting. He really believes we need open political discussion and collective choices about AI's future.
Absolutely. Urging that every citizen should understand at some level what the issues are because of AI's power.
He has some powerful quotes that really drive his points home.
He does. He stated, current AI and the AI that we can foresee in the reasonable future does not and will not have a moral sense or moral understanding of what is right and what is wrong.
And the one about judgment.
Right. I'd rather have an imperfect human being as a judge than a machine that doesn't understand what it's doing. It really makes you think.
So, for leaders and entrepreneurs, what are the key takeaways from Bengio?
Well, first, policymakers need to foster those open, inclusive political discussions about AI's trajectory. Ensure collective choices are made.
Okay.
Second, they should consider economic solutions, like basic income from a scientific view, setting aside maybe traditional moral beliefs to ensure societal happiness and effectiveness as jobs change.
Then finally.
Finally, it's vital to establish social norms or laws that prevent AI from taking on responsibilities requiring moral understanding, at least for the foreseeable future. Don't give it jobs it can't ethically handle.
That makes sense. Did he offer any contrasts with common perceptions?
Yes, a couple interesting ones. He disagrees with the idea that human brains start as raw neurons working on pixels, arguing instead that we come with a specific pre-existing architecture.
Ah, so not a blank slate.
Not entirely.
Hmm?
And unlike some other deep learning pioneers like Hinton and LeCun who have part-time roles in companies, Bengio has consistently chosen to remain fully academic, prioritizing academic freedom and working with students.
Okay, moving on, we have Stuart J. Russell, a truly towering figure in the AI landscape. His contributions are foundational.
That's right. Stuart J. Russell is a professor of electrical engineering and computer science at the University of California, Berkeley.
Okay.
He's renowned as one of the world's leading contributors to AI and is notably the co-author of Artificial Intelligence, a Modern Approach.
The textbook.
It really is the leading AI textbook globally. His research cuts across machine learning, knowledge representation, computer vision, all grounded in this unifying principle. An intelligent entity does the right thing to achieve its objectives.
So, how does he define AI and its capabilities? His definition sounds quite precise.
It is. An entity is intelligent to the extent that it does the right thing, meaning that its actions are expected to achieve its objectives.
Simple, but powerful.
And he clarifies that highly successful AI systems like AlphaGo, which beat the world's best Go player, or self-driving cars, they aren't purely deep learning systems.
Right, he calls them hybrids.
Exactly. Hybrids of classical search-based AI and deep learning. Deep learning helps distinguish good from bad positions, sure, but it can't achieve world champion Go alone. Nor can it fully manage complex driving without those classical rules.
It's a blend of old and new approaches working together.
Precisely.
Okay, so when it comes to artificial general intelligence, AGI, and how it compares to humans, what's his take?
Russell believes that while many conceptual building blocks for AGI are already in place, there are still some crucial missing pieces.
Like what?
He specifically points to understanding natural language in a way that allows AI to build knowledge structures for reasoning. That's a big one.
And he makes a compelling argument about surpassing human capabilities.
He does. He argues that once an AGI surpasses, say, a kindergarten reading level, it will far exceed human capabilities along various important dimensions.
Why? Because of access to information?
Exactly. because it'll have instant access to and be able to process all recorded human knowledge. Imagine that.
Wow. That leads directly to a crucial concern he highlights: existential risks and the control problem.
Yes, he sees the possibility of AI systems ceding control over humanity's future as a very serious problem.
He urges a prudent approach, like with nuclear energy,
That's the analogy he uses, designing systems to prevent such an outcome, advocating for provably beneficial AI systems.
meaning we can mathematically guarantee they align with our values.
That's the goal, guaranteeing their actions align with human values and objectives, even in unforeseen circumstances. He even warns that a major control failure could kill the field of AI, like Chernobyl or Fukushima did for the nuclear industry.
His quotes are certainly sobering on this.
They are. He stated, "It seems prudent, just as with nuclear energy and atomic weapons, to assume that human ingenuity will, in fact, overcome the obstacles and achieve intelligence of a kind that's sufficient to present at least, potentially, the threat of ceding control.
And the stark warning.
AI will kill itself if we fail to address the control issue." Powerful words.
So, what does this mean for leaders and entrepreneurs? What are the insights?
Russell believes leaders must understand that the ultimate goal of AI has always been general-purpose intelligent machines, a goal sometimes overshadowed by focusing on narrow tasks.
Right.
In fields like medicine, where human physiology is well understood, he thinks knowledge-based or model-based approaches are more likely to succeed than purely data-driven deep learning.
Interesting. And for policymakers?
He suggests considering international treaties and verification of mechanisms with manufacturers to prevent civilian AI tech from being weaponized. And society needs to prepare for potential economic shifts, where traditional motivations for education might decrease as machines take over more services.
He also seems to engage in significant points of debate.
He does. He explicitly pushes back against the philosophical denial of AI's success, reminding us the field keeps achieving the impossible, like beating chess champions.
And he contrasts with those who say AI will never succeed.
Yet dismissing that as a completely pathological reaction, and he implicitly challenges views that deep learning alone is sufficient for general-purpose algorithms, stressing the need for hybrid approaches.
Okay, our next guest is Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of deep learning, and for very good reason.
Indeed. Geoffrey Hinton is widely regarded as a pioneer of deep learning and neural networks. He's credited with showing that backpropagation.
The core training algorithm.
Right. Showing it could learn distributed representations, which essentially means the network develops its own internal, nuanced ways of understanding data, not just relying on human labels.
That was a breakthrough.
Huge. Hinton was instrumental in the resurgence of neural networks, dramatically showing their superior performance in speech recognition around 2009, and then computer vision in the 2012 ImageNet competition.
Which led to massive industry adoption.
Exactly. He also highlights the critical role of Canadian Institute for Advanced Research, CIFAR, funding and collaboration with Jan LeCun and Yoshua Bengio during a time when deep learning was still seen as, well, fairly hostile.
So, on the power and evolution of deep learning, Hinton explains that while backpropagation might seem slow initially,
It's actually much, much faster than dumb brute force methods for adjusting all those network weights.
and he's convinced deep learning is here to stay.
Absolutely. He says its underlying scientific concepts are incredibly powerful and will likely offer insights into how animal and human brains learn. He clarifies that deep just means networks with more layers, letting them represent more abstract things.
He offers a fascinating critique of AGI assumptions, doesn't he, and emphasizes community.
Yes. Hinton challenges the popular idea of future AGI being single systems that become uniformly better at everything.
Right. He thinks they'll be good at some things, bad at others.
Like interpreting medical images well, but maybe not reasoning about them complexly.
Hmm?
And more importantly, he argues that very advanced intelligence is going to involve making communities of intelligent systems to effectively leverage the massive amounts of data required, not just one suitor AI.
And when it comes to AI hype versus reality, he seems pretty dismissive of fears of another AI winter.
He is. He points out that deep learning has already delivered great things that are widely used: speech recognition on our phones, image recognition, machine translation.
Unlike past AI hype cycles where the tech didn't deliver.
Exactly. He contrasts it with past winters where promised technologies did not really deliver.
He has a great way of putting things. The quote about backpropagation.
If you've got a network with a billion weights, backpropagation is going to be a billion times faster than the dumb algorithm. Makes the point very clearly.
And countering the hype critics.
Today, it's already done great things, so it can't possibly all be just hype.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the message seems clear. Deep learning success should inspire continued investment and adoption, not skepticism.
Right. And for building truly advanced intelligence, AI developers should maybe shift focus to architectures supporting communities of intelligent systems to handle data scale, moving beyond the individual AI idea.
And the SciFar example shows the value of funding basic research.
Definitely. Funding basic research in high-risk areas and fostering collaborations pays off.
Did Hinton bring up interesting points of debate?
Yes. He explicitly states that neural nets are not trying to imitate the brain directly, but they are inspired by some of its computational characteristics, at least at an abstract level.
Okay.
He challenges the idea that a baby's face recognition isn't just raw neurons working on pixels, asserting it as raw neurons working on pixels, but within a particular pre-existing architecture.
A structure again.
Always structure. He also clarifies how deep learning differs from unsupervised learning and predictive learning, noting there's some confusion around these terms.
Our next expert, Nick Bostrom, brings a truly unique philosophical lens to the AI discussion, focusing on the big picture, the long-term future of humanity.
He certainly does.
Huh?
Nick Bostrom is a professor at Oxford University and the founding director of the Future of Humanity Institute. He also directs the Governance of Artificial Intelligence program there.
Impressive titles.
Yeah, and with a PhD in philosophy, he's written extensively, including the bestseller Superintelligence, Paths, Dangers, Strategies. His background really allows him to tackle AI from this angle of existential risks and the long-term future.
His primary concern revolves around the risks of superintelligence and value alignment. Can you unpack that?
He highlights a distinctive problem with advanced AI, the possibility that the technology could misuse itself.
Misuse itself.
Well, he warns that if a superintelligent system's objectives diverge, even slightly, from human values, it might well be that the superintelligence wins. The core worry isn't malice, like in the movies.
Right, not Skynet becoming self-aware and hating us.
Exactly. It's more subtle. It's a superintelligence very competently pursuing an objective that differs from what we really want, which could lead to a future shaped in accordance with alien criteria.
That's a truly unsettling thought. A world optimized for something we didn't intend, maybe something like maximizing paper clips.
Right. That's the kind of scenario he explores. So his work, and places like OpenAI and MII, focus heavily on approaching the technical control problem. How do we build a machine that stays aligned with human objectives, even as it gets smarter?
Is progress being made there?
He notes significant growth in talent and funding, but it's still a very small field overall. And he cautions that solving the technical problem is only half the battle. Humanity then needs to figure out how to use this technology peacefully and in a way that benefits all of humanity.
So what about the societal and economic implications if we do get superintelligence?
Bostrom advocates that a big chunk of its benefits should be for the common good of all of humanity, maybe through a universal basic income or similar schemes, ensuring everyone enjoys a fantastic quality of life.
And he had an idea about pausing development.
Yeah, he suggested the developer of the first superintelligence should have the option to pause for 6 months, or maybe a couple of years, to double-check their systems for safety, free from competitive pressure.
That seems sensible. Let's hear some of his quotes.
Okay. Here's one on the core risk. The concern is not that an AGI would hate or resent us for enslaving it, or that suddenly a spark of consciousness would arise and it would rebel, but rather that it would be very competently pursuing an objective that differs from what we really want. Then you get a future shaped in accordance with alien criteria.
Chilling. And on the potential upside?
If we really hit the jackpot, would be so large that we should make sure that everybody has a fantastic quality of life.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, what's the takeaway from Bostrom?
He advises that it's actually too early to seek involvement from states and governments for regulating superintelligence specifically, as the problem itself needs clearer definition first.
Focus on near-term AI for now.
Right. Focus government attention on immediate AI applications where their roles are more relevant. And for innovators, he suggests they should ideally be able to prioritize safety and alignment without being constantly rushed by the fact that some competitor is nipping at their heels.
He also offered a compelling point of debate regarding public perception, didn't he?
Yes. He implicitly contrasts his focus on long-term existential risk with how the general public allocates their concern chips, noting AI has only recently joined big worries like nuclear war or climate change.
And he challenges the idea that machines can't be conscious.
He does. He suggests consciousness might arise even long before they become human-level or super-intelligent, and that it might also be possible to design very capable AI without subjective experience or qualia.
Next up, we have Jan LeCun, who brings a crucial industry perspective as the chief AI scientist at Facebook, or Meta now.
Jan LeCun, yeah, definitely a highly influential figure, a pioneer of deep learning, and chief AI scientist at Facebook Meta.
He's particularly known for convolutional networks, right? Like the core of computer vision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
CNNs. They power so much now, from facial recognition to medical image analysis. And interestingly, LeCun discovered backpropagation, that fundamental training algorithm, in parallel with Hinton and Rumelhart back in the early 80s.
Wow. So his current role gives him deep insight into applying this research at massive scale.
Absolutely. Applying foundational research to huge real-world problems.
So let's talk about his views on the power and limits of deep learning architectures. He thinks it's here to stay.
Firmly believes the scientific concepts are here to stay due to their immense power. But he clarifies that convolutional networks aren't blank slates. They incorporate a little bit of structure by design, which is key to why they work so well.
And he highlights a major challenge ahead.
Yes. Unsupervised, self-supervised predictive learning. Learning without massive labeled datasets. He sees this as the main hurdle to achieving real common sense in AI, contrasting it with current reinforcement learning, which isn't very sample efficient for the real world.
That shift towards learning from less data seems to be a recurring theme.
It is. He sees it as the next big step.
Connecting this to the economic impact and job transformation, what's his view? He talks to economists.
Right. And based on those discussions, he states AI is a general-purpose technology, GPT, like electricity or the steam engine. It's set to transform pretty much how we do everything.
Mass unemployment.
He doesn't anticipate mass unemployment, but expects a vastly different economic landscape. It will require continuous learning and retraining for the workforce, much like the shift away from agriculture.
So AI as amplification, not replacement.
That's his view. An amplification of human intelligence, making jobs much more interesting by handling the mundane tasks.
What about regulating AI applications? Where does he stand?
He believes there's no point in regulating AI research at the moment, which might surprise some.
But he does advocate regulating applications.
Strongly. Regulating AI applications based on their specific domain, just like we regulate drugs or cars already. He thinks existing rules for areas like drug design or road safety will just need to be tweaked as AI becomes more common within them.
His perspective is captured well in his quotes, the one about amplification.
The upcoming AI systems are going to be an amplification of human intelligence in the way that mechanical machines have been an amplification of physical strength. They're not going to be a replacement.
And the one about language that ruffled some feathers.
Yeah. Language is sort of an epiphenomenon of intelligence, and when I say this, my colleagues who work on natural language processing disagree vehemently. He enjoys stirring the pot a bit there.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the message is prepare for AI as a fundamental economy-wide transformation.
Like past GPTs, investment should flow into continuous education and retraining programs to handle skill mismatches.
And there's a projected shift in value towards human connection.
Human experience and human connection, yeah.
Yeah.
And for policymakers, the focus should be on regulating applications, not research, making sure rules adapt in critical sectors like healthcare and transport.
LeCun also has some sharp contrasts and points of debate. He mentioned his debate with Gary Marcus.
Right. He noted Marcus is not particularly well accepted in the community because he's been writing critically about deep learning, but he's not been contributing to it. A bit pointed.
Ouch. And the debate about structure in AI.
LeCun acknowledges everybody agrees that there is a need for some structure, but views differ on the amount and kind needed, like whether you need explicit symbolic reasoning or not.
And, as we heard, his view that language is an epiphenomenon directly contrasts with his NLP colleagues. Our next guest is Fei Li, a leading voice in computer vision and, crucially, AI ethics from Stanford.
Yes, Fei Li. She's a professor of computer science at Stanford University, really a top expert in computer vision and AI ethics.
Her background is in cognitive neuroscience.
Right, so she approaches AI from an algorithmic and detailed modeling viewpoint, finding that link between brain and machine learning fascinating.
And she's known for ImageNet, right? That massive data set.
Absolutely. ImageNet really revolutionized computer vision. It provided the essential big data needed for deep learning models to make those quantum leaps in recognizing objects in images. She's also pioneered AI for healthcare delivery and is a strong advocate for human-centered AI.
So when it comes to the path to AGI and this idea of human-centered AI, how does she define AGI?
She sees it not as a sudden event, but as a continuum from today's narrow AI. It becomes progressively more contextualized, situationally aware, nuanced, multifaceted, multidimensional.
Okay, so evolving capability.
Exactly. With a learning that goes beyond just big data, including unsupervised and reinforcement learning. And she proposes this human-centered AI framework.
What are its core components?
Three things: advancing AI itself, including interdisciplinary research with neuroscience and cognitive science, focusing squarely on positive human impact, and carefully considering the societal implications. That balance is key for her.
On the critical issue of bias and diversity in AI, what's her take?
She argues very clearly that bias in AI is directly linked to diversity issues. If the human-generated data used to train AI is biased, may be lacking representation for certain groups.
Then the AI's output will be biased too.
Inevitably. And that can have fatal implications. She emphasizes the need for transparent and fair technology, advocating for government investment in basic science, research, and education so more people can understand and positively influence AI development.
When discussing the economic impact and job augmentation, she acknowledges AI can automate more tasks, including cognitive ones.
Right, beyond just manual labor. But she strongly asserts that AI has so much potential to enhance and augment labor in addition to just replace it.
She gives historical examples.
Yeah, like software engineers emerging after typists were automated, or bank tellers actually increasing after ATMs came along. It shows that new, often more interesting jobs get created.
Her quotes offer a clear perspective on current AI and its challenges. The one about supervised learning.
The success today of neural networks and deep learning mostly involves supervised pattern recognition, which means that it's a very narrow sliver of capabilities compared to general human intelligence.
And on bias.
If we have a machine learning pipeline, starting with the data itself, then when that data is biased, our machine learning outcome will be biased. Very direct.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, what are the insights? Invest in AutoML.
Yes, invest in AutoML products, automated machine learning tools to lower the barrier to AI adoption. This lets businesses without deep ML expertise create custom AI models.
And focus on human-inspired tasks.
Right. Prioritize human-inspired tasks to drive AI advances, focusing on real-world challenges that natural intelligence evolved to solve. And crucially, get all sectors of society involved in AI development to ensure a humanistic view and positive impact.
With governments playing a big role in funding research and education.
A huge role, she says. It's a societal effort.
Did Lee bring up any interesting points of debate?
Well, she implicitly contrasts current AI learning with human learning. She notes children learn a huge amount by observation without having any notion of language, and from very small amounts of data.
Unlike AI needing huge data sets.
Exactly. She also argues that while some AI work is human-inspired, a large part of the work does not resemble humans at all. And she challenges the idea that capitalism is the only form of human society going forward, or that tech's path within it is totally predictable.
Our next guest is Demis Hassabis, co-founder and CEO of DeepMind, and truly a visionary in the field, known for AlphaGo, right?
That's him. Demis Hassabis, co-founder and CEO of DeepMind, the AI research company acquired by Google.
And his background is pretty unique. Chess prodigy, game designer.
Yeah, former child chess prodigy, professional video game design, then a PhD in cognitive neuroscience from UCL, postdocs at MIT and Harvard. Quite the resume.
So he founded DeepMind with this ambitious goal.
To build general algorithms that we can apply to real-world problems, driven by inspiration from neuroscience and a real commitment to learning systems over traditional, brittle expert systems.
He really emphasizes the brain as inspiration, doesn't he?
He does. His early interest in how his own brain came up with chess moves led him to neuroscience and AI. He argues the brain is humanity's only example of general intelligence, which is why DeepMind takes neuroscience very seriously.
And he's big on reinforcement learning.
Very big. He believes reinforcement learning, where AI learns by interacting with an environment, getting rewards or penalties, will become as big as deep learning soon. He points out the brain uses a form of it, suggesting it's a viable solution to the problem of general intelligence once scaled up.
When talking about DeepMind's mission, he clarifies games like Go are just training grounds.
Trading domains, exactly. Their long-term goal is building general AI. not just solving games. He highlights AlphaGo's victory as a major milestone, but points to future challenges.
Like what?
Better language understanding, replicating symbolic reasoning with new methods, and achieving concept learning and transfer learning, applying knowledge from one task to another. Those are the next big milestones he sees.
Kasaba seems like a real optimist about AI's potential.
He is. He believes AI will be one of the best things that's ever happened to humanity if managed wisely.
He sees it as crucial for solving big global problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Climate change, Alzheimer's research, water purification. He sees AI as a transformative technology, essential for tackling these huge challenges, saying there's really no other path to get the necessary global coordination and the excess resources or activity.
His quotes really reflect that ambition, the one about games.
Games are just our training domain. We're not doing all this work just to solve games. We want to build these general algorithms that we can apply to real-world problems.
And the neuroscience connection.
From the neuroscience perspective, we know that the brain uses a form of reinforcement learning as one of its learning mechanisms. The brain is our only example of general intelligence, which is why we take neuroscience very seriously here.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, what lessons can we take from Hassabis?
Well, founding DeepMind wasn't easy. VCs were skeptical about AI's failed promises. But they succeeded by committing to neuroscience, inspiration, learning systems, and using benchmarks and simulations for rapid development, helped by new compute power, like GPUs.
And the Google acquisition gave them resources.
Massive computational resources, essential for their ambitious projects. And he suggests leaders should focus on using AI to solve big scientific problems. Protein folding, material design, drug discovery. He sees huge breakthroughs there in the next decade.
Does his view on reinforcement learning create any points of debate?
It does. His strong belief in RL as the path to general intelligence contrasts a bit with how human children seem to learn often more through observation, less through explicit rewards for specific goals.
Right, like language learning.
Exactly. He also implicitly challenges the earlier AI paradigm that was frowned upon and got rebranded as machine learning, showing how quickly perceptions have changed.
Up next, we're talking with Andrew Ng, a pivotal figure instrumental in making AI accessible and impactful on a global scale through Google, Baidu, Coursera.
Andrew Ng, yeah, hugely influential, instrumental in transforming both Google and Baidu into AI-driven companies.
And co-founded Coursera with a Daphne Collar.
Right, scaling online AI education globally. Currently, he's CEO of Landing AI and a general partner at AI Fund, focused on transforming other industries and creating new AI startups.
He's known for using massive computation power.
Exactly, applying very large amounts of computation to train powerful neural networks. And he's a strong advocate for making AI available to everybody, like a utility.
On the future of deep learning and the possibility of an AI winter, Ng seems optimistic.
Quite optimistic. He doesn't foresee another AI winter because current AI tech, especially deep learning, has already delivered significant value. Think speech recognition, photo recognition, machine translation.
Unlike past hype cycles.
Exactly. Unlike past overhyped tech that led to previous winters, he acknowledges the limits of current AI, mainly supervised learning and backpropagation, but predicts a continuing shift towards neural networks for more human-level intelligence or flexible learning algorithms long-term.
His vision for AI as a utility and its democratization is really compelling, making it accessible like electricity.
That's the vision. Making machine learning a utility for everyone, not just experts. Google helps by open sourcing TensorFlow and making TPUs available on their cloud.
And he champions AutoML products.
Yes, automated machine learning tools. He sees them as crucial for democratizing AI, letting users without deep ML expertise train custom models for their specific problems, making AI accessible to millions of organizations.
When it comes to job market evolution and lifelong learning, what's his prediction?
A fundamental shift. Moving away from having one career in your lifetime towards continuous learning and adaptation due to rapid tech change.
He sees people branching into different careers more often.
Yeah, and he highlights many deep learning practitioners today come from diverse fields: physics, astronomy, pure math, not just computer science. He also underscores the importance of government roles in helping people acquire new skills for jobs not threatened by automation.
Ng's quotes capture his pragmatic view and his focus on accessibility, the one defining AI currently.
AI is a broad category. When people discuss AI, what they really mean is the specific toolset of backpropagation, supervised learning, and neural networks.
And empowering individuals to learn AI.
I think it's easier than ever for someone to find materials and study by themselves.
Yeah.
It's possible for almost anyone to become great at AI. Very encouraging.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, his AI fund model is interesting, building startups from scratch.
Right, focusing on creating winners by building them with entrepreneurs, providing mentorship, not just picking pitch decks. For companies, he suggests hybrid AI solutions, combining traditional tools with deep learning, especially for small data sets.
And his advice for policymakers.
Implement thoughtful regulation to accelerate AI adoption. Overly restrictive rules, like for self-driving cars in California, can just push companies elsewhere. And leaders absolutely need to prepare for a workforce requiring continuous reskilling and adaptability.
Does Eng offer any contrasts or points of debate?
Yes, he challenges the media's portrayal of the global AI race with China, calling it much less of a race than suggested.
Using the electrical grid analogy.
Right, implying AI's benefits are broad, not zero-sum. He also agrees there needs to be a reset of expectations about AGI, suggesting current hype might be unrealistic.
Our next guest is Rana El-Kalioubi, a pioneer in an increasingly vital area, bringing emotional intelligence to machines. Founder of Effectiva.
Yes, Rana El-Kalioubi, a pioneer of social robotics and human-robot interaction, and co-founder of Effectiva, the emotional AI company.
Her PhD was inspired by challenges faced by people on the autism spectrum.
Right. Her research at Cambridge focused on building computers that could read emotions. She later co-founded Effectiva with MIT professor Rosalind Picard, aiming to build tech that identifies and responds to human emotions, going beyond just cognitive smarts.
She's clearly fascinated by that gap between cognitive and emotional intelligence in tech.
Very much so. On emotional AI and human-computer interaction, she's intrigued by how smart our tech is cognitively, but how little emotional intelligence it has. She highlights that emotional and social intelligence are crucial for human success.
And Effectiva's tech aims to capture the nonverbal stuff.
The 93% of nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
Everything beyond text, facial expressions, tone of voice, using a multimodal approach.
Yeah.
Way beyond basic sentiment analysis.
That ability to read between the lines sounds fascinating. Where is it being applied?
In diverse sectors. One big one is advertising testing, helping companies understand emotional connections with consumers across dozens of countries.
Okay.
Another significant application is monitoring driver safety, ensuring attentiveness in cars, both human-driven and semi-autonomous.
And ethically, how do they handle sensitive emotional data?
Well, Kaliubi emphasizes Effectiva's core value, respect and personal emotional data. They operate only with explicit user consent and ensure users get value back for sharing their data.
What about artificial general intelligence, AGI, and job impact? Where does she stand?
She believes AGI is many, 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 many years away. Emphasizing current AI is pretty narrow, built for specific tasks.
But her tech gives machines emotional responses. Does that replace jobs?
She argues it will more likely transform jobs rather than eliminate them. She gives the example of nurse avatars handling routine tasks, freeing up human nurses for more complex patient care.
And she stresses the importance of diverse training data.
Critically, ensuring data is representative of all the different ethnic groups, and that it has gender balance and age balance to guard against bias in emotional AI.
Her insights are powerfully conveyed in these quotes, the one about IQ versus EQ.
If you look at humans, it's not just your IQ that matters in how successful you are in your professional and personal life. It's often really about your emotional and social intelligence.
And on AGI's timeline.
Today's AI does one thing well, but they all had to be bootstrapped in one way or another. We're many, 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 many years away from an AGI. Very clear on that.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, what's the message? Big market in emotional AI.
Huge market opportunity in emotional AI for understanding consumer behavior and enhancing user experience. And companies developing AI should proactively set strong ethical boundaries around sensitive data, like emotions get explicit consent, provide value back.
And for industries like automotive.
Significant advancements in safety and monitoring. Overall, leaders should see AI as an amplification of human intelligence, transforming jobs to be more human-centric, not just replacing them.
Does El-Kalioubi present any contrasts or points of debate?
Well, she implicitly contrasts her focus on emotional intelligence with others focused mainly on cognitive intelligence, who aren't paying much attention to the emotional intelligence.
And she challenges text-based sentiment analysis.
Right, pointing out it only captures 7% of communication, text, while Effectiva targets the other 93% of nonverbal communication, questioning the completeness of purely text-based methods.
Next up, we have Ray Kurzweil, a renowned futurist and, let's just say, a fascinating mind that sees far, far beyond the immediate horizon, almost into science fiction territory sometimes.
He certainly pushes the boundaries. Ray Kurzweil is a renowned futurist, author, inventor, and director of engineering at Google.
Right, known for pattern recognition, neural nets, and his law of accelerating returns.
Exactly. That law posits exponential growth in information technology. Kurzweil brings this long-term, highly optimistic and transformative vision, especially his theory of the singularity,
Ah, the singularity, where tech growth becomes uncontrollable, irreversible.
leading to, well, unfathomable changes to human civilization.
His core idea is all about exponential progress and the singularity. He really believes progress is exponential, not linear.
Absolutely. He asserts that progress in information tech, including software, is exponential, leading to rapid acceleration, often underestimated by linear thinkers.
And his prediction for 2045 is staggering.
It is. By 2045, human intelligence will be multiplied a billionfold through the merger with AI. He calls this a profound transformation, creating an event horizon beyond which it's hard to see. He believes fundamental breakthroughs happen exponentially through cross-fertilization of ideas.
It's a very different view of the future, and this connects to his grand vision of human-AI emergence and radical life extension.
It's his core thesis.
Yeah.
Humanity will merge with the intelligent technology that we are creating.
How? Nanobots.
He envisions medical nanorobots in our bloodstream enhancing immune systems, or in the brain providing virtual augmented reality, and most importantly, connecting our neocortex
The thinking part of the brain.
to synthetic neocortex in the cloud, dramatically expanding human intelligence. He sees this as a third bridge to radical life extension.
So how does he address the obvious risks and the need for ethical AI?
He acknowledges the dangers, but points to the success of the Asilomar Conference approach for biotech ethics as a workable model for AI.
The conference where scientists set guidelines for genetic research.
Right. He notes the first AI Ethics Asilomar Conference happened just 18 months prior, developing ethical standards that need more work but represent a viable overall approach. For him, the key issue is managing human relations as our individual personal powers through technology increase.
His quotes are certainly memorable, the one about 2045.
If we do the math, we will multiply our intelligence a billionfold by 2045, and that's such a profound transformation that it's hard to see beyond that event horizon.
And on the Asilomar model's success in biotech.
The number of people who have been harmed by intentional or accidental abuse or problems with biotechnology has been close to zero. We're now beginning to get the profound benefit, and that's going to become a flood over the next decade. Very optimistic view there.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the main insight is grasp this exponential nature of progress.
Yes, avoid engineers' pessimism, which he says underestimates the pace of change and idea cross-pollination. He advocates adopting ethical standards and technical strategies for AI safety, inspired by the biotech regulation model.
And businesses should prepare for physical products becoming information tech.
Exactly, leading to massive deflation in costs for essentials like food. This implies a shift in economic models where traditional jobs might not be needed for a good standard of living.
Does Kurzweil explicitly contrast his views with others?
Oh, yes. He explicitly contrasts his exponential view with those thinking linearly who predict AI breakthroughs will take over 100 years. He also highlights a historical error by Marvin Minsky about perceptrons, where deep neural nets later proved Minsky wrong, validating Frank Rosenblatt's earlier insight.
And he disagrees about correlation versus causation being a barrier.
Right. He suggests the human neocortex can infer causality from less data, challenging that common limitation cited for AI.
Our next expert is Daniela Rose, the director of the Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, CSAIL, at MIT. She brings a fascinating perspective from the heart of robotics innovation.
She certainly does. Daniela Russ, director of CSAIL at MIT. It's the largest research lab at MIT, aiming to invent the future of computing and educate top students.
And she's a leading figure in robotics, especially soft robots.
Yes, robots made from compliant, flexible materials. Her vision is for pervasive robots that support us in our cognitive and physical tasks. She really brings that institutional leadership view on advancing fundamental research with a focus on real-world real-world impact and societal good.
Her vision for the future of computing and pervasive robotics sounds compelling. Computing like electricity.
Ubiquitous, yeah. With intelligent assistants, optimizing our lives, work efficiency, health. Her specific focus is on shape-shifting robots becoming widespread, supporting us cognitively and physically.
And she emphasizes reimagining robot hardware, moving beyond rigid manipulators.
Absolutely, moving to soft robot hands that can handle objects more reliably, more intuitively. It sounds futuristic, but that they're actively building it.
When it comes to self-driving cars and real-world challenges, what's her take? Are robot taxis in Manhattan coming soon?
She acknowledges that certain autonomous driving technologies are available right now for level 4 autonomy situations, specific limited areas like retirement communities or business campuses.
Okay.
But fully autonomous robot taxis navigating chaotic places like Manhattan. That's still a challenging case and quite a bit further off in her view.
Regarding job transformation and lifelong learning, she confirms jobs are changing.
Undeniably, jobs are changing. Jobs are going away, and jobs are being created. She sees tech relieving humans of routine work so we can focus on more interesting parts of our work.
Like her example of autonomous wheelchairs freeing up physical therapists.
Exactly, allowing them more time for direct patient care. She strongly emphasizes the need for retraining programs to bridge the skill gap and advocates for a parallel approach to learning and working, lifelong learning, given how fast tech is changing.
Her quotes really capture her vision, the one about shape-shifting robots.
I want to make shape-shifting robots because I want to see a world with pervasive robots that support us in our cognitive and physical tasks. And on the changing nature of work.
Technology can relieve us of routine work in order to give us time to focus on the more interesting parts of our work.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the insight is to focus on bold, ambitious dreams for computing, like CSAIL does.
Right. Things like private online conversations, personalized healthcare, general AI systems. Leaders must recognize the shift in job market demands and proactively invest in retraining programs. And foster that culture of lifelong learning.
Critical for individuals and institutions to adapt.
Does Russ highlight any interesting points of debate?
Well, she points out most robot hands still look like rigid industrial manipulators from 50 years ago. That highlights a real lack of innovation in robot hardware dexterity compared to algorithms. She strongly advocates for soft robotics as the necessary shift.
And she challenges the idea that all jobs will be replaced.
Implicitly, yes, emphasizing the creation of new, more interesting jobs through AI-driven augmentation.
Our next expert, James Manika, provides a crucial macroeconomic and strategic consulting perspective from McKinsey, giving us a look at AI's impact on the global economy.
Yes, James Manika. He's a senior partner at McKinsey & Company and the chairman of the McKinsey Global Institute, MGI.
Okay.
He leads research on global economic and tech trends, including AI's impact on organizations, work, the global economy. He brings this unique blend of macro analysis and strategic consulting.
Informed by past work on autonomous vehicles.
Right, at Oxford and NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. He's also advised the White House on the digital economy.
He brings up the long-standing Solow paradox when discussing productivity and AI adoption. What's that again?
It's the observation that despite huge IT investment, we haven't seen a corresponding economy-wide productivity boom. Manika attributes this to large sectors outside tech, media, finance, still being not that digitized.
So the impact of AI hasn't really hit yet.
He asserts the global impact of AI and advanced automation hasn't even started to be seen yet, and will be absolutely critical for future productivity and economic growth. That gap is fascinating.
McKinsey's research distinguishes between automating tasks versus whole jobs.
Right, a nuanced perspective on job market transformation. Manika indicates roughly about 50% of activities, not jobs, but tasks, that people do now are, in principle, automatable with current tech.
But that doesn't mean 50% of jobs disappear.
Exactly. He crucially distinguishes that. Factors like the cost of deployment, the quantity and quality of labor, and wage dynamics determine actual automation.
And he argues low-wage jobs might be harder to automate.
Yes, harder than high-wage cognitive tasks, potentially, due to physical complexity and lower financial incentive.
He also touches on the critical issues of bias and explainability in AI bias from training data.
Right. AI systems can absorb human bias from their training data, maybe biases in collection or sampling rates, leading to systematic discrimination.
And the explainability problem, why the AI did what it did.
Exactly. It's hard to understand why a neural network made a particular decision. a major hurdle for high-stakes applications like criminal justice or lending. He points to emerging techniques like LIME and GAMS to help address this.
His quotes really clarify that task versus job distinction.
Roughly about 50% of activities, not jobs, but tasks that people do now are, in principle, automatable.
And the incentive paradox, automating accountants before gardeners.
The incentive to automate the accountant is already far higher than the incentive to automate the gardener.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Manika advises caution on the initial hype.
Yet, widespread adoption in large, less digitized sectors is still nascent. Leaders must prioritize reskilling and on-the-job training, noting that on-the-job training has actually declined recently, despite being more important now.
And policymakers should prepare for mismatches, geographic and wage.
Yes, middle-wage jobs likely decline, while growing jobs like care work often pay less. He's also conflicted about universal basic income, UBI, helps with income, but misses work's role in providing meaning and dignity.
Does Maika engage in points of debate?
Yes. He agrees with Nick Bostrom that superintelligence isn't a huge immediate concern for society, but disagrees with those claiming zero probability of it ever happening.
And he contrasts McKinsey's job forecast with others.
Right. MGI research suggests more jobs gained than lost in midpoint scenarios, contrasting with purely pessimistic job loss arguments. And he implicitly challenges Robert Gordon's skepticism about future growth, arguing AI will drive productivity and economic growth.
Our next guest is Gary Marcus, a prominent AI researcher known for his critical and often provocative perspective on deep learning. He's not afraid to challenge the hype.
No, he isn't. Gary Marcus is a professor of psychology and neuroscience at NYU. Also co-founded a startup, helped launch Uber's AI labs.
His background is cognitive science, neuroscience, linguistics.
Right. That informs his critical perspective on deep learning's limitations. He strongly advocates for incorporating more innate, structured knowledge and symbolic reasoning into AI. He wrote Kluge about the human mind's evolution.
He's a well-known critic of deep learning, especially its limitations and what he calls the AI paradox. Can you explain that?
He argues deep learning struggles with abstraction and causal reasoning. While it gets impressive results, say in Atari games, these are often incredibly fragile.
And the paradox.
The AI paradox. Tasks easy for humans like common sense, would an elephant fit through a doorway, are incredibly hard for machines. But tasks hard for humans like World Champion Go are easy for machines.
Why the disconnect?
He attributes it to machines lacking shared common sense and the ability to make inferences, to read between the lines in language.
Drawing on cognitive science, he argues for the need for innate structures in AI, more built-in knowledge.
Exactly. More built-in structure or innateness, rather than trying to learn everything from raw pixels. He suggests specific functions needed. Symbol manipulation, abstract variables, type token distinction, causality, spatial understanding.
Inspired by how human babies learn rapidly because they're not blank slates.
Precisely. Babies are born with significant pre-existing structures.
When it comes to AI risks and societal impact, where does Marcus stand? Superintelligence.
He views superintelligence as a somewhat unlikely scenario compared to more immediate risks like bioterrorism and cyber warfare.
But he's optimistic AGI is achievable.
Generally optimistic it's possible, yes. But he expresses significant concern about the current direction and priorities of AI development.
Especially the focus on ad placement.
Right. He's critical of the overemphasis on ads, rather than accelerating scientific discovery in areas like healthcare. He believes there's serious work to be done to ensure AI benefits humanity.
His quotes clearly articulate his criticisms, the one about driving in Manhattan.
It's not clear to me that you get to the accuracy levels you need for driving in Manhattan simply by adding more data to these big data-driven systems.
And challenging deep learning's core capabilities.
When I wrote that piece 5 years ago, I said that I didn't think deep learning would be able to do things like abstraction and causal reasoning, and if you look carefully, you'll see that deep learning is still struggling with exactly that set of problems. Still relevant, he argues.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Marcus advises reconsidering over-reliance on purely data-driven deep learning, especially for critical tasks like self-driving.
Yes, where even 99.99% accuracy isn't enough. He argues investment in research should shift towards integrating symbolic reasoning and innate structures to tackle the AI paradox and achieve real common sense.
And focus more on AI for societal benefit, like healthcare.
Exactly. Accelerating scientific discovery, not just optimizing ads.
Marcus is known for his contrasting viewpoints. He openly criticizes deep learning.
A stance Jan LeCun noted wasn't popular, pointing out Marcus critiques more than he contributes code.
And he contrasts his view on innate structures with the learn from pixels approach.
Calls that the very popular but I think ultimately inadequate idea. He also challenges Kurzweil's exponential progress focus, arguing fundamental conceptual breakthroughs are still needed for reasoning and learning from less data.
Our next guest is Barbara J. Gross from Harvard, a pioneer in natural language processing and collaborative AI, with a profound focus on how AI can work with people, not just replace them.
Yes, Barbara J. Gross, professor of computer science at Harvard, a real pioneer in NLP collaborative AI, multi-agent systems.
Known for modeling conversations, understanding intent.
Exactly. Developing the intentional structure component of dialogue, getting at the underlying purposes and goals in conversation, not just the words. She's also proposed a new test of intelligence to replace the Turing test.
And her perspective is quite philosophical and ethical.
Very much so, always emphasizing AI systems working well with people.
She offers really important insights into natural language understanding, going beyond the surface. She sees progress, but also limitations.
Acknowledges the phenomenal progress in language and speech systems, thanks to more compute power and data. But she critiques current deep learning NLP systems.
Saying they perform poorly on reasoning about purpose?
Right. They perform poorly on sentences requiring reasoning about purposes behind what someone says. She argues they're good at statistical learning, but lack other hallmarks of intelligence, like counterfactual or common sense reasoning. They don't get below the surface to understand intent.
That inability to grasp intent seems like a major roadblock.
It is, which connects to her ideas on human-AI collaboration and a new test of intelligence. She advocates for AI systems that complement human abilities, not replace people or chase generalized AI.
And her new test focuses on collaboration.
Exactly. A test involving collaborative activity, where a human and an AI work together to solve a problem neither could alone. It acknowledges complementary skills and guides incremental progress in reasoning.
When it comes to ethics and regulation in AI design, what's her stance?
She firmly asserts it's crucial to consider what systems we should build and integrate ethics into computer science teaching right from the start.
Design teams should be multidisciplinary, include ethicists.
Yes. To think broadly about unintended consequences, especially when releasing AI into the wild, she supports legislation, policy, and regulation, especially when systems interact with a world full of people, not all of whom are trying to be helpful and agreeable.
Her quotes are quite impactful, the one about lacking reasoning.
Deep learning-based systems more generally lack other hallmarks of intelligence. They cannot do counterfactual reasoning or common sense reasoning.
And her call to action for developers?
It's time to stop. Saying, oh, I wonder if I can build a thing that does thus and such, and then build it and foist it on the world. We have to think about the long-range implications of the systems we're building. A call for responsibility.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the shift is from replacement to collaboration.
Design systems that work well with people, recognizing this can be a competitive advantage. Leaders must ensure design teams are multidisciplinary, including social scientists and ethicists, to integrate ethics from the outset.
And regulation shouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction.
No, it should be informed by design principles that proactively create better systems. Investment should focus on areas genuinely enhancing human well-being, distinguishing deep learning's power from true, deeper thinking.
Does Gross present significant contrasts or points of debate?
Oh, yes. She strongly states the Turing test is not a good test of intelligence and not a good guide for what the field should aim to do, proposing her collaborative test instead.
And she clarifies the meaning of deep in deep learning.
Right. Contrasting it with the popular philosophical sense, clarifying it just means many layers to the neural network. She also challenges the belief AI can learn just by observing, noting the huge difference between human learning and AI's supervised learning.
Our next guest is Judea Pearl, a Turing Award winner known for his groundbreaking work on probabilistic approaches and, maybe even more importantly, causality in AI, getting machines to understand cause and effect.
Yes, Judea Pearl. Turing Award winner in 2012, the Nobel Prize of Computer Science, largely for his work on probabilistic, or Bayesian, approaches in AI and machine learning.
Professor at UCLA.
Right. A pioneer in Bayesian networks, those probabilistic graphical models, and more recently, causation in AI. He brings this profound theoretical, philosophical perspective, really pushing AI beyond correlation to grasp cause and effect.
So on Bayesian networks and modularity, he shifted focus in the 80s.
Right. Move from heuristics to Bayesian networks and uncertainty management, aiming to do it correctly and efficiently following probability theory.
And these networks offer special features, modularity.
Exactly. When structured causally, they offer modularity, breaking problems down, reconfigurability, easy component changes, and transferability, applying knowledge to new situations, features not inherent in purely probabilistic models.
And they're widely used now, even in cell phones.
Widespread use, yeah. Error correction in every cell phone, potentially in voice assistants like Siri.
His most significant work is on causation versus correlation, challenging that old mantra.
Fundamentally, establishing how to derive causation from data. He argues you need to have causal assumptions before you can get causal conclusions, which you cannot get from data alone. Data isn't enough.
And this has impacted other sciences.
A big impact in the social and natural sciences,
Yeah.
enabling causal models in diverse fields, even quantum mechanics.
When he looks beyond curve fitting to the future of AI, how does he see current deep learning?
He views much of it as curve fitting or harvesting low-hanging fruits. He acknowledges it's achieved amazing things, but suggests it's because there were so many such fruits readily available.
He thinks neural nets will be part of the future, but integrated with causal models.
Precisely. He believes neural networks and reinforcement learning will be essential components when properly utilized in causal modeling. The future lies in hybrid systems integrating these with other AI ideas, especially those tackling causality and counterfactuals reasoning about what if.
That call for deeper understanding beyond just patterns seems so important. His quotes challenge conventional wisdom, the one about correlation.
The mantra correlation does not imply causation is much more profound than we thought. You need to have causal assumptions before you can get causal conclusions, which you cannot get from data alone.
And his critique of deep learning as curve fitting.
It's curve fitting. It's an amazing thing because we didn't realize there are so many low-hanging fruits.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the insight is to push beyond current deep learning, integrate causal modeling.
Yes. Move beyond curve fitting to integrate causal modeling, which offers that crucial modularity, reconfigurability, transferability for more robust AI.
And understanding Bayesian networks are already out there shows the value of theory.
Right. The widespread deployment illustrates the value of theoretically grounded AI. And Pearl suggests true holistic intelligence, capable of free will, ethics, responsibility, requires systems that understand counterfactuals and cause and effect.
Pearl identifies a tension between the scruffies and the needies in machine learning.
He does, echoing historical debates. Scruffies build things that work, regardless of guarantees. Needies, like Pearl, seek explainability, transparency, performance guarantees.
And he sees a shift away from transparency with deep learning.
Explicitly states there has been a shift from Bayesian networks to deep learning, which is less transparent, moving away from the modularity he values.
Our next expert, Jeffrey Dean, is a Google Senior Fellow who's been instrumental in the Google Brain project, giving us an insider's view of AI at massive scale.
Yes, Jeffrey Dean.
Yeah.
A Google Senior Fellow in the research group, leads the Google Brain project, and is the overall director of artificial intelligence research at Google.
Been there since '99. Instrumental in deep learning at scale.
Absolutely. Joined Google early and played a key role in developing and applying deep learning across the company. He offers that unique insider's view on cutting-edge research, especially building really intelligent, flexible AI systems that can transfer knowledge between problems.
He describes Google's approach to AI and the path to AGI as different from DeepMind's.
Right. He clarifies that while DeepMind has a more structured plan for AGI, the broader Google AI Research Organization also works on new capabilities for generally intelligent systems, but follows a bit more organic path, solving important problems incrementally.
But the vision is similar. Flexible systems that learn from experience.
Exactly. His vision is building really intelligent, flexible AI systems that leverage knowledge from past problems to solve new ones, what he calls a hallmark of human intelligence.
What's particularly compelling is his push for the democratization of machine learning and auto-ML, making ML a utility.
That's the goal. Machine learning becoming a utility, accessible to everyone, not just a handful of experts. Google helps by open sourcing TensorFlow and making TPUs available on their cloud platform.
And auto-ML products are key to this democratization.
Crucial, he thinks. enabling users without deep ML expertise to train custom models through automated experimentation, opening AI up to millions more organizations.
When it comes to AI's societal impact and regulation, he acknowledges the effect on jobs.
Significant impact on labor markets, yes. He emphasizes the critical need for governments to pay attention to how people can get new skills for jobs not at risk of automation.
And he believes regulation has a role, but needs expertise.
Yes, regulation has a role to play, but stresses it must be informed by people with expertise in the field to avoid knee-jerk reactions and foster an informed dialogue.
His quotes clearly articulate Google's goals and the drive for accessibility, the one about flexible systems.
We want those systems to be able to come into a new problem and use pieces of knowledge that they've developed from solving many other problems to all of a sudden be able to solve that new problem in a flexible way, which is essentially one of the hallmarks of human intelligence.
And making it easier for non-experts.
Our aim is to make that approach much easier to use so that you don't need a master's level course on machine learning to do this.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Dean advocates focusing on flexible systems capable of knowledge transfer.
That's a key development goal. Companies should invest in democratizing AI tools like TensorFlow and AutoML, making ML accessible much more broadly.
And leaders and policymakers need to collaborate on jobs and retraining.
Absolutely. Address the societal impact of AI on jobs through retraining and upskilling. And any AI regulation should be informed by people with expertise to be effective, not hinder progress.
Dean also highlights a contrast within Google's approach to AGI, more organic versus structured.
Explicitly, yes. Google AI's approach is a bit more organic compared to DeepMind's structured plan. He also points out the huge gap between the maybe 10, 20,000 organizations with ML expertise now and the 10 million organizations globally that could benefit, showing massive untapped potential for democratization.
Our next expert is Daphne Koller, co-founder of Coursera, but now CEO of InSitro, applying AI to a truly critical field, drug discovery.
Yes, Daphne Koller, CEO and founder of InSitro, the biotech startup using machine learning for drug discovery. Also an adjunct professor of computer science at Stanford.
And of course, co-founder of Coursera, the massive online education platform.
Right, scaled online learning globally. Koller has a long-standing interest in AI's potential benefits in healthcare. She was also chief computing officer at Calico, Alphabet's longevity research company.
So a unique perspective combining ML expertise with health and education applications.
Definitely.
She founded InSitro to tackle the huge challenge of AI for drug discovery and healthcare. The costs and failure rates are enormous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Addressing the increasing challenge and cost of drug development, clinical trial success rates, often in mid-single digits, R&D costs over $2.5 billion.
Wow.
Her approach uses big data and machine learning alongside life science innovations like the UK Biobank data and CRISPR gene editing. The goal is to create large, high-quality data sets to train models that accelerate drug discovery and development.
She believes ML thrives where there's lots of data and interdisciplinary thinking.
Right, where you have that accumulation of large amounts of data
Yeah.
and can bring different fields together.
What's fascinating is her firsthand insight into the evolution of online education, MOOCs. Coursera grew out of Stanford's early successes.
Yes, those initial MOCs with enrollments over 100,000 people. She clarifies Coursera never aimed to put universities out of business, but rather to provide an enhanced learning experience, especially for those without traditional access.
And she predicts education transformation will happen first in graduate and professional degrees.
Yes, where flexibility is more valued. Later, maybe for part-time undergrads.
When it comes to hurdles to AGI and ethical AI risks, what's her view on timelines?
She says achieving AGI requires big leaps forward that are stochastic and unpredictable. So putting specific timelines on it is a fool's errand.
And the limitation of current AI is the need for huge amounts of data.
Yes, the very, very large amount of data needed, contrasting it with humans learning from very small amounts of data due to transferable skills and our single brain architecture.
Regarding risks, she sees AI like other complex technologies, increasing risk with reliance.
Right, and increasing risk as we rely more and more on complex technologies with a single point of failure, similar to biological weapons. But she believes existential threats from conscious AI are too early to start worrying about.
That unpredictability of AGI breakthroughs really makes timelines difficult. Her quotes offer a pragmatic view, the one about stopping progress.
Stopping progress by stopping technology is the wrong approach. If you don't make progress technologically, someone else will, and their intent might be considerably less beneficial than yours. A strong argument against halting research.
And on predicting AGI.
Predicting when a stochastic event is going to happen is a fool's errand. Very blunt.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, companies should tackle tough problems like drug discovery by combining ML with new ways to generate big, high-quality data sets.
That's Insitro's model, combining cutting-edge ML with new methods for generating the right data. For educators, online platforms like MOOCs are a big opportunity for professional and graduate education, offering flexibility.
And policymakers should be wary of regulating tech they don't understand.
Yes, be wary of regulating AI technology they don't understand. Instead, focus on the societal implications of technological disruption, especially jobs, which needs adaptation and reskilling. This points again to the value of resources like AI Coach by Anil Nathu for building that understanding.
Does Collar offer contrasts or points of debate? She distanced herself from MOOC hype?
Yes, she explicitly distances herself from the enormous hype that MOOCs would put universities out of business, calling that ridiculous extremes of the hype cycle.
And she implicitly contrasts her view on AI risks with someone like Stuart Russell.
Right. By saying superintelligence concerns are too early to start worrying about, she implicitly contrasts with those actively warning about it. She also notes AI can generate images, but doesn't invent impressionism, implying a lack of true novel creativity currently.
Our next guest is David Ferrucci, the award-winning AI researcher who famously built and led the IBM Watson team that won Jeopardy.
Yes, David Ferrucci. Built and led the IBM Watson team from inception in 2006 to that landmark Jeopardy victory in 2011.
And after IBM, he founded Elemental Cognition.
Right, in 2015, focused on creating novel AI systems that, quote, dramatically accelerate automated language understanding and intelligent dialogue. His perspective comes from this lifelong fascination with modeling human intelligence, reasoning, communication to machines, seeking holistic intelligence.
He's all about true language understanding and this holistic intelligence, going beyond surface patterns.
Exactly. Aims for AI to move beyond the surface structure of language and patterns and word frequencies, to grasp underlying meaning and build the internal logical models humans use to reason and communicate.
He envisions systems that learn through interaction, like humans do.
Yeah, a system that can autonomously learn and refine its understanding through human interaction, language, dialogue, akin to deep human comprehension and discussion. He equates this to holistic intelligence, maybe something broader than just AGI.
That quest for genuine comprehension is truly ambitious. Connecting this to his lessons from Watson and challenges for deep learning, Watson needed more than just one algorithm.
Oh, yes. Ferrucci highlights Watson's success required deep understanding of language and combining 200 or 300 different algorithms.
He implicitly contrasts this with current deep learning's limits, matching patterns but not understanding intent.
Right. While deep learning can match patterns very effectively, it often fails to grasp the underlying intent or purpose behind human queries, leading to errors. He emphasizes systems need to explain themselves to build trust and be truly useful.
When it comes to the risks of AI and regulation, where does he stand? Concern about giving machines leverage.
A lot of cause to be concerned anytime you give a machine leverage, he says, over critical infrastructure like the grid, weapons, transport errors, or hacking can be amplified into a significant disaster.
But he argues this isn't just an AI problem, it's about any powerful system.
Exactly. Concern is not specific to AI, but to any system with dramatic leverage. He highlights the need for governments to address liability and regulate systems with broad societal impact. He also sees labor market regulation as dicey, balancing protection and progress.
His quotes clearly articulate his focus on deeper understanding and his warnings, the one about meaning.
We want to look beyond the surface structure of language, beyond the patterns that appear in word frequencies, and get at the underlying meaning.
And the warning about leverage.
There's a lot of cause to be concerned anytime you give a machine leverage. That's when you put it in control over something that can amplify an error or the effect of a bad actor.
So, for leaders and entrepreneurs, the priority for AI development should be genuine understanding and reasoning, moving beyond pattern matching.
Yes. Create systems capable of genuine language understanding and reasoning, building compatible intelligence that learns autonomously and engages meaningfully.
And when deploying AI with pragmatic leverage, robust design is key.
Robust design for error cases and cybersecurity is paramount. He also notes companies like IBM can capitalize on AI in business intelligence, data analytics, optimization by delivering targeted value.
Does Ferrucci offer contrasts or points of debate? His focus on understanding versus statistical approaches?
Right. His emphasis on true understanding and logical models contrasts with purely statistical or pattern-based approaches common in deep learning now.
And he indirectly critiques current virtual assistants.
Yeah, calling things like Siri or Alexa mildly useful and kind of scripted by hand without common sense, implying they lack the deep understanding he seeks. He also implicitly suggests IBM Watson's commercial challenges might relate to needing systems that can explain their reasoning.
Our next guest is Rodney Brooks, a renowned robotics entrepreneur, co-founder of iRobot, and often a pragmatic, sometimes skeptical voice in the AI conversation. He brings things down to earth.
He definitely does. Rodney Brooks, robotics entrepreneur, PhD from Stanford, currently chairman and CTO of Rethink Robotics,
And co-founder of iRobot, the Roomba company.
one of the world's largest commercial robot distributors. He also directed the MIT AI Lab and later CSAIL. Brooks brings this highly practical, hardware-centric view, often challenging the hype around rapid AGI and stressing the huge difficulties in physical robotics and dexterity.
He offers a very grounded perspective on the reality of robotics and dexterity. Even the Roomba is just insect-level intelligence.
That's what he says. The most successful robot ever in terms of numbers shipped, based on insect-level intelligence. He asserts the current state of robot dexterity is nowhere close to anything like human ability.
Noting that demos often involve humans helping the robot hands.
Right. He uses the simple plastic grabber toy as an example, saying it shows there's something dramatic missing in getting robots to do basic dexterous tasks. A stark contrast to sci-fi portrayals.
Brooks is quite vocal in challenging exponential progress and AI hype, skeptical of Kurzweil's law.
Very skeptical. Questions the idea that everything is exponential. He argues Moore's law is slowing down, leading to a renaissance of computer architecture, not endless exponential growth in processing power.
And he predicts deep learning won't be the hot thing forever.
Predicts 10 years from now the hot thing will not be deep learning, but some new tech will emerge to drive progress. He just doesn't know what it will be.
When it comes to real risks versus hypothetical threats, where does he focus? Not on robot overlords.
No. He views the Hollywood idea of AGIs taking over as way in the future, dismissing it as a power game for isolated academics who live in a bubble.
So focus on immediate danger.
Exactly. Focus on real dangers and the real risks that we are facing right now, particularly cybersecurity threats. The fact that digital platforms are often built on totally insecure components that can get hacked by anyone, he sees economic disruption more as digitalization than just AI.
His quotes are quite memorable and grounding, the one about insects.
We don't have anything anywhere near as good as an insect, so I'm not afraid of superintelligence showing up anytime soon.
And the one about fetching a beer.
Everyone's saying robots are coming to take over the world, yet we can't even answer the question of when one will bring us a beer. Really puts things in perspective.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Brooks emphasizes long development cycles in robotics.
Yes. Acknowledge the long development cycles and challenges. iRobot had 14 failed business models before success. Investors should be wary of hype, especially around full autonomous driving, which he thinks will take decades and need huge infrastructure changes.
And leaders should prioritize tangible risks like cybersecurity.
Absolutely. Address tangible risks like cybersecurity over far-off, hypothetical superintelligence threats. He also stresses needing to recognize and value essential human service jobs that won't be automated, like elder care or teaching.
Brooks explicitly contrasts his skepticism with proponents like Kurzweil.
Directly contrasts his skepticism about rapid progress and the law of accelerating returns with Kurzweil. He highlights the huge gap between human dexterity and robot capabilities, challenging ideas that robots can easily learn physical tasks by watching videos, and dismisses Hollywood AGI concerns as irrelevant to current practical AI, urging focus on real-world dangers.
Our next expert, Cynthia Breziel, is a true pioneer in social robotics, focusing on how machines can truly interact with us, collaborating with us emotionally and socially.
Yes, Cynthia Breziel, director of the Personal Robots Group at the MIT Media Lab and founder of Jibo, Inc.
Pioneer of social robotics, designed Kismet, the first social robot, and Jibo.
Right. Kismet back in 2000, and Jibo was on Time's Best Inventions 2017 list. Breziel focuses uniquely on designing intelligent machines that can collaboratively engage you over an extended longitudinal relationship and personalize, grow, and change with you. Think applications in education, healthcare, wellness.
She observes a fundamental shift towards the rise of social robotics and ambient AI, moving beyond phone assistants.
Exactly, moving from phone-based assistants to ambient AIs that coexist with us, enabling deeper, personalized, proactive engagement. She envisions social robots extending services like education and affordable healthcare into the home, letting people age in place.
The core idea is the machine understanding us, inferring thoughts, intents.
Yeah, for the machine to dovetail its intelligence and behavior with our own, inferring human thoughts, intents, beliefs, desires from context and behavior. That subtle dance of social interaction.
Her early work explored embodied cognition, the idea that a physical body shapes intelligence.
Right, with Rodney Brooks at MIT. Kismet, her social robot, was designed to be altricial, needing nurturing like an infant, to evoke human social instincts, fostering subconscious interaction, and helping the robot learn and develop.
And she defines social based on collaboration.
Yes.
Right.
A robot is social if it collaboratively engages with humans, regardless of its physical task.
When it comes to real risks and the AI gap, she's less worried about superintelligence enslaving us.
Much less. She's not nearly as concerned about superintelligence enslaving humanity as she is about people with nefarious intents using these technologies to hurt people.
So misuse is the bigger immediate threat. Privacy, security, fake news.
Right. Legitimate concerns around privacy, security, democracy, fake news, bots, and autonomous weapons. A significant worry for her is also a growing AI gap, where AI exacerbates the divide instead of closing it. She advocates making AI far more democratized and inclusive.
Her quotes highlight that need for social understanding and her focus on misuse. The one about dovetailing intelligence.
The machine has to dovetail its intelligence and behavior with our own. It has to be able to infer and predict our thoughts, intents, beliefs, desires, etc. from context.
And on the risks.
I am not nearly as concerned about superintelligence enslaving humanity as I am around people using the technology to do harm.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the insight is to design AI for real value in families. Education, healthcare.
Focus on critical domains of real value for families, requiring collaborative, long-term human-machine relationships. For researchers, the scientific challenge of designing intelligent robots for coexistence with people in society is paramount.
And policymakers need to focus on democratizing AI, closing the gap.
Prioritize democratizing AI and ensuring inclusivity to prevent a widening AI gap and address immediate ethical concerns like privacy, security, falsehoods. This is where understanding, perhaps through resources like AI Coach by Anil Nathu, becomes so important for everyone.
Does Brazil offer contrasts or points of debate, contrasting social AI with older interfaces?
Implicitly, yes. Contrasting her focus on social, emotional, personalized, proactive engagement with earlier, more transactional voice interfaces. She also challenges the focus on physical tasks in robotics, advocating for the equally hard area of social and emotional assistance.
And she contrasts her concern level about superintelligence with others.
Right. Contrasts her level of concern with those who talk about it, like Hassabis, questioning the practical drivers and funding for true general superintelligence beyond academic interest.
Our next expert, Joshua Tenenbaum from MIT, is at the forefront of computational cognitive science. His goal is basically to reverse engineer the human mind to build better AI.
That's a great way to put it. Josh Tenenbaum, professor of computational cognitive science at MIT's Department of Brain and Cognitive Sciences, also part of CSAIL and the Center for Brains, Minds, and Machines.
His research aims to reverse engineer the human mind, understand human intelligence computationally, to bring AI closer to human abilities.
Exactly. He's known for work on Bayesian approaches, probabilistic programming with uncertainty built in, and understanding how humans learn so much from so little.
He proposes a fascinating roadmap to AGI, inspired by human cognitive development, in stages.
Yes, a three-stage roadmap corresponding to human development. Stage 1 focuses on intelligence before language, the first 1.5 years or so. This involves foundational core concepts.
Like intuitive physics, object permanence.
Right. Intuitive physics, object persistence, understanding agents. He believes understanding how humans learn causal relations from just one or a few examples, like figuring out a touchscreen instantly, is crucial.
Contrasting with AI needing vast data for statistical correlation.
Exactly. It's incredible how fast babies grasp cause and effect.
Tenenbaum argues for integrating different AI paradigms, not throwing out old ideas.
Yes, pushes back against the false narrative that early symbolic AI didn't work. He thinks the field can now bring together the best insights and the power of these different paradigms: symbolic AI, graphical models, Bayesian nets, deep learning.
He sees them working together, probabilistic programs with neural nets.
Yeah, how probabilistic programs can be woven in with neural networks to speed up inference, similar to how AlphaGo uses deep learning to guide its search in the game tree.
When it comes to consciousness, selfhood, and AI risks, he makes a distinction: qualia versus awareness.
Right, two aspects.
Hmm.
Qualia, subjective experience, which he thinks machines could have since humans are machines, and awareness, realizing info is available, where AI research is making progress.
And he questions if machines need a full sense of self.
Yeah, questions if giving machines a full sense of self is necessary or desirable. Maybe they can be useful without it. He's not especially worried about singularity or superintelligent machines posing existential threats.
Because we don't even know how to give them a sense of self yet.
Right. We still don't know how to give machines any sense of self at all. He prioritizes more urgent existential risks like climate change, which current AI tech impacts, positively or negatively.
His quotes clearly challenge established narratives. The one about symbolic AI.
The early ideas that emphasize the power of symbolic reasoning and abstract languages expressed in formal systems were incredibly important and deeply right ideas, defending those older approaches.
And on existential risks.
The idea that superintelligent machines would decide for themselves, that would pose an existential risk to humanity. I just think we have other existential risks that are much more urgent, like climate change.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, the insight is to focus on reverse engineering human cognitive development for AI. Prioritize early intelligence.
Right. Focus on early-stage intelligence, intuitive physics, causality before complex language, and see the value in integrating insights from diverse AI paradigms, not just sticking to one.
And research fundamental questions about values and morals.
Yes, pursue basic science on what values are and moral principles, as current AI safety discussions on value alignment can be simplistic.
Does Tenenbaum offer contrasts or points of debate?
Mhm.
Challenging Turing's blank slate.
Yes. Critiques Turing's blank slate view of a child's brain, citing modern cognitive science showing babies start with a lot more structure and smarter learning mechanisms.
And he contrasts his view on existential risk with others.
Right. Contrasts with those who have advertised a lot about singularities, saying he's not especially worried about that. He also calls the narrative of symbolic AI being a failure very much a false narrative.
Finally, our last expert in this deep dive is Oren Etzioni, the CEO of the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence, or AI2, focused on AI for the common good.
Yes, Oren Etzioni, CEO of the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence, AI2. That's the independent nonprofit research org set up by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen.
Their mission is high-impact AI research for the common good.
Exactly. Etzioni has a PhD from Carnegie Mellon, was a professor at UW. He's also a successful serial entrepreneur, pioneered meta-search, online comparison shopping, machine reading.
So a blend of academic rigor, entrepreneurial success, and this focus on AI for the common good, particularly tackling common sense in AI. He highlights what he calls the AI paradox and the challenge of common sense. What's the paradox again?
Tasks easy for humans. Common sense questions like, would an elephant fit through a doorway, are hard for machines, while tasks hard for humans like World Champion Go are easy for machines.
And his project Mosaic at AI2 tackles this directly.
Specifically focused on endowing computers with common sense, addressing the fact that current narrow AI systems lack this fundamental human ability. That disconnect is really intriguing.
Etzioni also discusses the limitations of deep learning and the need for data efficiency, acknowledges its achievements, but sees limits.
Right. Acknowledges the very impressive achievements with deep learning when you have a lot of labeled data and a lot of computer power, but notes it often operates as a statistical pattern recognizer, lacking common sense, or the ability to learn from single examples.
So data efficiency is a key stepping stone to AGI for him, learning from one example.
A crucial stepping stone, yes. AI systems need to become a lot more data efficient, capable of learning from a single example like humans do.
When it comes to economic impact and the automation of autonomy, what's his prediction? Jobs changing radically.
Believes many jobs are either going to go away completely or those jobs are going to be radically transformed in the next 10 to 50 years. Draws parallels with agriculture and manufacturing shifts.
But he argues society can control the level of autonomy, meter it out.
Yes. We can meter out autonomy in AI systems, making deliberate choices about whether machines make life and death decisions on their own.
And he suggests reallocating resources to human jobs.
as a potential solution to job displacement. Yeah, reallocate societal resources towards care-based human-to-human jobs like caregiving or teaching.
His quotes clearly define the AI paradox and highlight societal choice. The paradox quote.
There's something I like to call the AI paradox, where things that are really hard for people are quite easy for machines.
Mm.
On the other hand, there are things that are easy for a person to do. Machines will struggle. That is what I call the AI paradox.
And the one about metering out autonomy.
A lot of our worries about AI are really worries about autonomy. And I want to emphasize that autonomy is something that we can choose as a society to meter out. Puts the control back with us.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Etziani's perspective suggests recognizing common sense as a critical missing piece. Invest beyond pattern recognition.
Yes. Invest in approaches like AI2's Mosaic that move beyond statistical pattern recognition to tackle common sense. There's a need to develop data-efficient AI that learns from minimal examples, like humans.
And policymakers should prep for job transformations, maybe revaluing human service jobs.
Consider revaluing and supporting human-to-human service jobs difficult to automate. And critically, society must collectively decide the level of autonomy given to AI systems, especially in high-stakes decisions.
Does Etziani offer contrasts or points of debate, contrasting Mosaic with the older Psych project?
Yes. Contrast Mosaic's approach with the unwieldy Psych project, aiming to use more modern AI techniques, crowdsourcing, NLP, machine learning, machine vision, to acquire knowledge differently.
And his critique of deep learning is milder than Marcus's.
Milder, yes. Acknowledges achievements while still highlighting limits for common sense and data efficiency. He also views terms like artificial intelligence and machine learning as bombastic and overly grandiose misnomers, arguing they're just extensions of limited statistical techniques.
Okay, one more expert to cover in this deep dive, Brian Johnson, a visionary entrepreneur focused on an even more radical idea, human-AI integration, enhancing ourselves.
Yes, Brian Johnson, founder of Kernel, OS Fund, and Braintree.
His background involves witnessing extreme poverty, leading to a commitment to create value.
Right. Committed to creating maximum value for humanity. Founded OS Fund, investing $100 in science-based endeavors overlooked by traditional capital, proving success in world-changing technology.
And then Kernel investing another $100 in advanced neural interfaces.
Exactly. To build advanced neural interfaces, designed to treat disease, understand intelligence mechanisms, and crucially, extend cognition. He believes our future is defined by the combination of human and artificial intelligence, HI plus AI.
That's a truly audacious vision. Human-AI integration and cognitive enhancement. His core premise is the brain is the originator of everything.
The brain is the originator of all things, the primary entry point to everything in existence we care about. He advocates for radically improved humans through neural interfaces as a necessity for our survival and relevance facing advanced AI to avoid self-destruction.
He thinks neural interfaces will be common like smartphones within 15 years.
That's his prediction. The idea that humanity must enhance itself to survive is, well, it's a powerful, provocative argument.
Johnson is quite direct in challenging the prevalent AI fear narrative. Thinks AI as the biggest threat is silly.
Just silly, he says. Argues humans have always been our own biggest threat, citing history and our current capacity for self-destruction with existing weapons.
He sees AI positively, as showing us what we can't see ourselves.
Views AI as the best thing since sliced bread, capable of showing us what we cannot see ourselves, especially in imagining radical cognitive enhancement and solutions to global problems.
On societal adaptation and inequality, he acknowledges concerns about access to enhancement tech, initially for the wealthy.
Acknowledges concerns about inequality, yes, but frames the discussion not as a luxury, but an absolute necessity for species survival.
He argues we need to develop these techs while designing systems for fairness.
Proactively design systems to accommodate everyone's interest, and make sure that we march forward at a steady pace together, even anticipating misuse. He critiques humanity's lack of a collective plan for this transformative future.
His quotes clearly express his strong forward-thinking views, the one about the brain.
The brain is the originator of all things. Everything we do as humans stems from our brains. It was absent in anybody's focus.
And his powerful claim about enhancing ourselves or going extinct.
My fundamental premise is that if humans do not enhance themselves, we will go extinct. Really puts it starkly.
So for leaders and entrepreneurs, Johnson's vision suggests shifting capital towards science-based endeavors, neural interfaces, cognitive enhancement.
Yes, Ehrmans argues these are critical for humanity's long-term future and survival. His OS Fund model shows success investing in tough scientific breakthroughs may be a blueprint for others.
And he urges reevaluating human potential, moving beyond competition.
Right, moving beyond a competition-based society. Policymakers need to engage in designing future tech with misuse and inequality in mind from the outset, not just reacting later. This kind of proactive thinking is exactly what platforms like AI Coach by Anil Nathu aim to foster.
Johnson directly contrasts his optimism with figures promoting a narrative of fear. Musk, Kissinger, Hawking.
Directly contrasts his optimism with their warnings. He also challenges the Rosling Tinker idea that the world is simply getting better faster, arguing they don't grasp how AI changes the game with its speed and destructive potential.
And he implies a different approach to brain research than DARPA or Allen Institute.
Implies a focus on the brain as the primary entry point for tools to read and write neural code.
Wow. Well, that was a truly expansive deep dive into the minds of the architects of machine intelligence. We've covered so much ground.
Everything from their groundbreaking work in deep learning and robotics.
To their insights on AGI, ethical considerations, and that massive economic impact AI is set to have.
And what's fascinating is the sheer spectrum of opinions we've encountered, isn't it?
Absolutely. On one hand, you have the optimists, like Demis Hassabis, seeing AI as this transformative force for solving huge global challenges, climate change, Alzheimer's.
Right, and then you have the pragmatists like Rodney Brooks, urging caution about the hype, telling us to focus on immediate, tangible risks like cybersecurity.
And that recurring tension between this rapid, often exponential technological progress.
And society's ability to adapt. It's clear, isn't it?
Yeah. Whether it's Ray Kurzweil's vision of a billion-fold intelligence increase by 2045, or James Manika's analysis of how jobs will shift, the need for continuous learning, thoughtful policy, and an inclusive approach to AI development is just a constant theme.
Which is precisely why platforms like AI Coach by Anil Nathu are so vital, helping us all navigate this incredibly complex landscape.
It really brings us to an important question for you, our listener. The future of AI. It's not predetermined.
No, it's being shaped right now, not just by these architects, but by the choices we all make as a society.
So, what kind of future do you want to create with AI? How can you contribute to ensuring AI is leveraged for the benefit of all humanity?
This deep dive, brought to you by AI Coach by Anil Nathu, aimed to equip you with the knowledge to engage in that crucial conversation and make informed decisions about the path ahead.
Thank you for joining us today. Buy the book at the AI Coach website for more insights on artificial intelligence.